Rods are useful for their purpose, but they are no substitute for brains.
All right, here we go.
I have to say, well done, Ray. Well done. Well played, my adversary. Well played.
Phoenix isn't gay, but if he was, he'd pick Fremont.
Oh yeah, he'd be living down there with you in the bunker, man. Woo!
Once you go free, you always do the Z.
Like one day of not going to Duncan, and you could get a controller, a new Xbox, possibly even a cord.
And now here's the hosts of the longest-running podcast in Rhode Island.
Welcome to BGFG episode 488. I'm your host, Chris Phoenix, and joining me, as always, my brother from another mother, Free Mosey. How are you doing this week, sir?
I've got my radio voice this week.
You've been a little under the weather, huh?
It's that time of year. Pollen.
Yeah. Oh,
hot,
yeah. It's
hot, cold. We're literally in one day we went from like 86 to 31 that night.
Whoa. 86 to 31. Yeah. That's crazy. We've had rain for 4 days at like 30, 40 degrees, snow in some areas, and then we're going to be in 60.
I knew it was coming. It was dogwood winter.
It comes every year, Free.
Yeah,
Spring.
When the dogwoods bloom, you're getting a cold snap. It's like guaranteed.
I don't know what a dogwood is.
It's a type of tree.
Oh. Must be nice. Why is it called dogwood?
It's just what they're called. I don't know. I guess dogs like them.
Dogs. Okay, good. Well, we have a very entertaining show this week.
Why is a cherry tree called a cherry tree?
It has cherries.
Okay, oak has acorns. Shouldn't we call it an acorn tree?
We should. This is why you're on this show.
Why we call a hickory tree a hickory tree? It don't produce hickories.
Why do we drive on a parkway and park on a driveway?
Yeah, I know.
These are questions we need answered soon, because the whole world's going to shit, and we're just here to report it.
And the ultimate question of all time, I'd like to have an answer before everything ends. Chicken or the egg?
Oh, see? I thought you were going with Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy. No?
Well, we already have that. It's 42.
Okay, that's a good point. The answer to everything in the universe is 42.
Yeah, 42.
Yeah. If you don't know, now you know. All right, let's get into this week's news.
BGFG News. You heard it here third.
First up in this week's news, as you might recall, the Meta, formerly was Facebook, the Meta whistleblower says that she says what we all knew all along. Just now it's confirmed, really.
Yeah.
In a better way. Sarah Wynne Williams. She's the former director of global public policy for Facebook. She recently published a tell-all book called Careless People. It's like #1. And then they, Meta really tried to get that unpublished, to get it off of, everything.
I wonder at what point she transitioned to having private security. Because there's no way this actually made it to print and got out there in his #1 book without her being guarded.
I would say so, because this is deep. This is like deep whistleblower.
Like 2 years ago, she shows up at the family Christmas, and there's like 3 SUVs that show up like 20 minutes ahead of time, and guys
walking into their wrist.
What are y'all doing? Yeah, just walking through the house. What are y'all doing? Yeah, we're all clear. Bring her in.
Walking into their wrist. Get just clear.
Hey, Mom. What is all this about?
Hey, Mom, check out what I got in my jacket. 4 guns are pointed at him. She told U.S. senators during a testimony that Meta, which means, and if you don't know, Meta means Facebook and Instagram for the most part for this conversation, that Meta targeted teens 13 to 17 years old with advertisements based on their emotional state. Now, we said this before, people. Not only are your devices listening, but there is obvious targets to all the social media network. Remo's not on any social media. I was on social media probably about 15, 20 years ago. I do read X, but that's getting few and far between now for me. And I was only doing it for pro wrestlers, because it is like just misinformation and just garbage at this point. So the 13 to 17-year-olds, they were basing this on emotional states, like when they were feeling down or depressed. They can tell from the algorithm from what you're doing. For instance, if you posted a selfie and then you took it down, they or their AI expected it to demonstrate that you're feeling bad about your body image. So they start targeting you with dietary supplements and things like that. She also states that the C-suite, as we know, is all the CEOs and CFOs and shit, including Zuckerberg, knew about it and just didn't care. And her quote was, "It could identify when they were feeling worthless or helpless or like a failure and would like that information and share it with advertisers." Wow.
Yeah.
That's when people don't feel good about themselves, they do tend to shop. So that's what this is targeted towards. Now, on one hand, you can look at it as an advertiser or as, yeah, I guess as an advertiser, you're like, oh, I got all the information I need. I can target these people perfectly. This is a far cry from going to, hey, this person posts a lot of pictures about being outdoors. They like a lot of different channels like LL Bean and, Tractor, what was it, Tractor?
REI.
Yeah. That's targeting one way. This is targeting an emotion and just a speculation, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Now, what happens if that shit goes sideways? It's also ironic that she says in her book, there are very few employees at Facebook and Instagram that allow their own kids to actually use the product. That's huge. That is huge.
They're just taking a page out of the king right there.
And if
Steve Jobs never let his kids play
Nope.
with his toys.
no,
For that
and
matter, Bill Gates, I mean, none of them, because they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
correct, they know exactly um, whether they turned a blind eye to it or not. The problem here that we've talked about on the show before is that the problem with CEOs and the entire C-suite is that they barrier themselves so much on the high that, and we've seen it in big pharma, we've seen it in a bunch of other companies, that when a problem happens, they can completely have plausible deniability because they weren't involved. Oh, I'm the CEO. I just oversee the major parts. That's all lower people. That's all supervisors and managers of departments. And those are the people that get canned. The CEOs, I think the last big one was Walmart.
You want to fix that?
I
You
would
want
love
to
to
fix
fix
that? I know
that.
how to fix that.
How are you going to fix that?
Fine. You can have your golden parachute clause, but if anybody underneath you gets indicted federally, you lose it.
That would be great. That would be so good. Oh, C-suite.
You want to see it? You want to see a change in CEO attitudes?
Oh, yes. I would love
Wait,
that.
whoa! You're doing what? No! No!
I said
You are
no.
not jeopardizing my parachute.
So there's no denying that the new government regime doesn't like negativity about them. And this is the type of thing where CEOs, C-suite, our current administration, we're at a time right now where nobody likes to talk about anything or point fingers at anybody in high places. Don't you agree?
I'll do it. I
I ain't afraid.
got nothing to lose. I don't care.
I ain't afraid. Well, what they're doing now seems familiar a little bit. Federal employees will now.
Been happening. It's just like everything in the world today.
Yeah.
That has always kind of been in the shadows, the dark little secrets that nobody wants to talk about, right? But we all know that it's there. Somebody's doing this or somebody's doing that, but it's all hush hush. It's behind closed doors. Nope.
Child workers at Nike.
Open. Yeah, they've kicked the doors open. They're turning the lights on. They don't even care to hide it anymore. They're just like, we're gonna run with this.
And if you don't like it,
the last people that got called out on it did fine. No real repercussions. So we're not even going to try and hide it anymore. We're just full steam ahead.
Well, federal employees.
It's not just in government. I mean, it's happening everywhere.
Federal employees will now be watched even more. If you didn't get laid off yet, that is.
The ones that are left.
Yeah. All your communications will be scraped by AI to tell if there's anti-Trump feelings. Now, sure, when
Well,
you work, well, good.
that's
Mhm.
the accusation.
It- It's not really an
And
accusation.
well, this goes back to plausible deniability. Oh
Yeah.
no, we're using it for this, but somebody behind the scenes is looking at the data for that, right? I mean, they are. But they're going to say it's for productivity, it's for, whatever.
No, they came right out like you said before. They came right out and said, "This is what we're doing it for." Doge Doge is using AI to sort out if anybody has anti-Trump feelings. Now, when you work for a government or any company for that matter, your email and communications are theirs and they can be monitored. Primo has that issue at his job. I have that issue at my job. Now, when they say it's being monitored, they're not watching, well, maybe Primo, but they're not watching my email all the time. What they're doing is looking for keywords and stuff. Or if somebody says, like an anonymous call from somewhere in Tennessee that says that I'm sharing company secrets with Target, then they would monitor my email for any sort of those communications. That's normal. We put all of our show notes on Google. Well, Google owns the rights. We've talked about it a long time ago. Google owns the rights. So if our show hit big,
When
okay, when our show hits big,
300 years from now, when we are revered as prophets and soothsayers.
when that happens, Google has the right to all of our shows, like all of our show notes, everything that we wrote down and copied and all that stuff. For
Yeah.
that matter, OneNote is something I use for actual show notes for my teleprompter. The Microsoft owns the rights to all of that. So it's a rights thing and they can look at anything they want. This is completely different. This is AI specifically, you know, there AI is going to be doing it without reason. Now there's going to be dedicated AI listening to everything. Firing or reassigning federal workers based on political reasons is against the law. So they can't
Yeah.
legitimately do this. I remember seeing some.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the cameras at work can't be used to spy on someone to try and find a reason to fire them. They're there for, accountability, blah blah blah, whatever.
Sure.
But they are.
Yeah. Yeah. I have you
You
on
know they
camera.
are.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens at my job too.
When you get a request to give a specific manager access to specific cameras and they don't really need it, but the request is there, so you have to do it. You know what they're doing with
They're
that.
building a
They're going to be
case.
sitting in their office. They're going to be watching those cameras, looking for a specific person doing specific things,
Right.
so that they can then, act on it, which is not what they're supposed to be there for.
No, essentially building a
But
case on somebody.
yeah, and that's all. That's all this is. This is the same thing. It's just happening out in the open.
Yeah. And all, even when I worked for the cable company, they would put GPS locators on the trucks just to see where you were, even though you were telling them where you were all day long on the
Yeah.
radio. I remember I got in trouble because I put a magnet taped to the underneath of the GPS locator in the van. And
Brilliant.
I got a talking to. They're like, we
Yeah.
haven't seen where you've been for the whole week. I'm like, I'm in exactly where I've been. My numbers are
Yeah.
good. I've done all the jobs. They're like, yeah, but we can't see your vehicle. Okay. I don't know what happened. Weird. And my
I'm
boss
assuming
be
they found it.
oh, my boss being the cool boss, but yet being pushed against the wall, walked out to my truck, opened up the doors, and just looked. And he goes, yep, take it off. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever.
They're like, hey,
Uh,
can we continue this conversation in just a moment? I have to pee. Run out of the truck.
yeah. So I remember seeing videos a while ago about people being reassigned and fired because of political views. It was hard to understand though because everybody was yelling in German.
Right.
I mean,
No, like I
people could,
said, it's just a natural progression. This has been happening, and now, like I said, nobody's trying to hide anything anymore. It's like, okay, I have the power, so now you did this, I'm going to do it 10 times worse, right? Like
yeah,
I'm gonna, You tried to punish me, and now I'm going to really punish you. And then in 4 years, if it goes back the other way, it'll be everybody screaming the same stuff just from the opposite sides of the fence.
Well,
I mean,
everybody's worried, Free. Everybody's worried. The other federal employees are worried. The FDA example is just hanging on by a thread. Like they're just trying to stay out of like some federal agencies are trying to stay out of the limelight. The FDA is
Yeah.
jumping out there going, "Hey, we're going to make a lot of
Well-
changes you're going to really like."
Yeah, and those boys should be scared.
Yeah, they should be.
Because I mean, look, they've been in the pocket of big pharma for a long time.
Yes, they
A
have.
long time.
Bless their hearts. They're trying. So this past week,
Some of the stuff that they've approved and put out on the market with, at best, you could call it misinformation on the product labels.
yes. Well, we've said it on the show. In fact, you've said it on the show previously that you can hire scientists at any college or university to do a study that comes out in your favor. 100%.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Look at how many studies were done in the 60s and 70s about smoking, about how some of it was like not as bad as it was.
Yeah, it's totally fine. That's why you have a study that comes out that says eggs are bad for you. You shouldn't eat eggs for breakfast, right? And then you do the research and you find out that was put out there by, the cereal conglomerate or oatmeal, the Quaker people or whatever. Right? That's who's behind. And I'm just, this may or may not be accurate. I'm just building a hypothetical situation. And then 2 years later, the egg people's money's down and they're like, hey, we need to do a study on oatmeal. And we want it to come back and say, blah, blah, blah. Well, you can manipulate a study to do what you want it to do.
Yeah.
Right? They proved Kool-Aid causes cancer. They proved it. The human equivalent of the concentration that they gave the lab mice was 500 gallons of Kool-Aid a day. So if you consume 500 gallons of Kool-Aid every day for a period of time, you will get cancer. Yes, I believe that.
But that's not what
Absolutely,
the paper said.
100%.
Like the paper said it. Like So
well, no, that's what I'm saying. You have to look at what the study what was actually done and what the equivalencies are and all of that kind of stuff. But they don't. That never gets to the public eye. It's just Kool-Aid causes cancer.
Right, and the point that I think the FDA is making is that they don't want Doge to come and shut them down. And one of the top things you do if you're a government agency, do what the people want. So this past Thursday, the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, said it would begin phasing out animal testing. That's great for animals.
Yep.
That's great. They'll be using more AI and lab-grown organoids like the liver and the heart to do their testing, which again, Remo and I've said this 100 times. This is what AI is good for. This is what it is. Now, the animal testing, I can go either way on that because there's some cases where you kind of want to test it on an animal first, and there's other cases where no, you don't need to test that on an animal. You can get the statistics that you want, but like we were saying before, think about all the long tail of using AI to test everything. What happens if AI turns into a steroid version of what we just said about universities and colleges that are doing the testing and coming out with the results that you want? What happens if AI just wants to off certain segments of the of the community that says a drug is fine, or they're programmed to say the drug is fine?
Exactly.
Or
which is why I don't take medicine.
Or even more likely, Big Pharma gets the AI results and decides that the margin of error for a drug or a product is acceptable, and they don't need to announce it. That's the real worry here. And of course, with stopping animal testing, PETA had to come out and pop their head around the corner, which you kind of half expected. You think they'd be happy about it because it's PETA, but of course they're not, and they're like, this is a good first step.
It's such a shame you can't see what finger I'm holding up.
Yeah, we need to do human testing on products that we give to animals to balance it out. It's only fair.
Yeah,
we've been animal testing for 100 years, so we need to start human testing before we give animals the stuff that we give them.
Right. It doesn't.
I'll sign up for the Alpo gravy train test. I'll eat that all day long.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Finally this week, we've talked about Colossal Biosciences before, right? They're bringing animals back, like the woolly mammoth, Tasmanian tiger. And
Yeah.
we've said before it's probably not a great idea. Well, this week, there was a rumor and some pictures that were all around social media that was calling the picture was a dire wolf being brought back. It was not. So if you've seen it, you can educate all the other sheeple that what you saw in those pictures was not a dire wolf. Wassel did say that they successfully restored the dire wolf, but it was just genetically modified gray wolves. Close, but not quite. They had 3 pups, and I love the name of the 3 little pups that they had. Remus, Romulus, and Khaleesi. We are doomed. Somebody stop this company, please. If you look at the picture that I posted on the video, you're going to see the differences between a wolf and a fucking dire wolf. In fact, their chief scientist said that they were concentrating on size, muscularity, and ears. They're concentrating on size, muscularity, and ears. I think they just threw the ears thing in there to suffice with whoever's reading it. Another fine example of no, we shouldn't be doing this. Kind of like when they were rebuilding that cathedral and found an iron sealed casket buried underneath the cathedral. We're looking forward to opening it. Don't open it. Put it back. If the church at some point decided they need to bury somebody in a lead coffin underneath the church, you might want to leave them there. Just shits and giggles. I ain't opening that. But just to explain to you the size of a dire wolf. A timber wolf is about 2.5 feet tall at its shoulders and about 6 feet long with a tail. A dire wolf is like something out of Game of Thrones. Seriously. They're like 3.5 to 4 feet tall at the shoulders and around 8 feet long. This fucking thing will kill you. There is no domesticating this animal. If you enter this back into the ecosystem, you're talking about your deer population's gone. Gone. That's the easiest prey right there. You know, what do you've hunted. You know, what do you think about this?
I mean,
a dire wolf coming back.
well, first of all, it'll never be a dire wolf. They're starting. I'm not going to get into. Try not to turn this into any kind of religious or philosophical or worldview debate. But
Well, they were extinct
assuming
10,000 years ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of assumptions built into everything that people are saying, but the fact of the matter is that animals over time do change, right?
Yep.
Because you look at you read this, and the dire wolf genetics and the gray wolf, the modern gray wolf genetics are like 90 something percent the same, whatever.
Mm.
Okay, so there's been some changes. Well, those changes have obviously made the animal smaller, weaker, whatever you want to say.
Sure.
Right? Or maybe they didn't. Maybe the big game was gone and the dire wolf died out because it just couldn't sustain itself anymore. Right? They ate all the big game. So then the smaller wolves, the more nimble wolves, the ones that could run farther over time are the ones that are, going out longer distances, finding the smaller game and surviving, and the big ones died off. Well, okay, whatever. Bringing these back, which they're not actually doing, it's literally a marketing scam. It's a way for them to get more money for whatever it is they're doing.
I mean,
it's.
I see your point because a lot of evolution has come, like cats, domesticated
Yeah,
cats.
I try to stay away from that word because it's like a trigger word for some people.
Whatever. You can get us our hate mail.
Oh, that's gonna give me some hate mail.
The cats, domesticated cats, were not always the way they are now. They were cats. They were animals living. They were smaller tigers, for lack of a better term. The shark, one of my favorite ones. The shark has never had to evolve. It's never had to learn how to swim backwards. It's never had a natural predator, really. It's only gotten smaller and faster.
I think Willie might have something to say to you on that note.
Right, but you get my point. That's the way it's worked. And bringing back stuff that's gone, like I don't have any problem with bringing back the dodo bird. I mean, it'll go extinct again. It was a dodo bird. But bringing back like Tasmanian tigers, dire wolves. Do you guys find something different? A long hair rabbit, maybe? Something that's less offensive and it's not going to fucking kill me? I mean, we don't know what the attitude, like elephants today some are afraid of man. Some will gather together and fight off, men.
Here's a comment right
But
here.
nobody knows what the woolly mammoth is going to do.
This is for you right here. Relax. These aren't actually dire wolves. They're designer gray wolves and will be available to buy as status symbols for the super rich before much longer.
True. That's factual right there. That's so fact. It's so fact. All right, we're getting into our news segment. So, news. We're getting into our music segment. So this week in our music choice, I picked a band that I can't believe we've never done before.
I find that hard to believe.
So do I. Maybe
I'm
it's
sure
in one
we've
of the
done.
older.
I'm sure we've done something of theirs at some point, but if it's been a while, I just can't imagine we've never done one by them.
So this is the
Could be.
This is the band Five Finger Death Punch, and this is the song "Wash It All Away." The reason why I chose this week was because I love the way it goes between the harsh yelling that I don't like, and then you hear that the singer actually has a really good voice, and they blend it well together. So here's Five Finger Death Punch, "Wash It All Away," and we'll catch you on the other side for some Stick Style.
Waiting
Five-Finger Death Punch. Great track. Great track.
Right there.
Yeah, Five Finger. All right, before we get into stick style, it is the drinking time. Drinky. Oh, Fremo's got the classic light, and I went a little bit different this week, Fremo.
Did you now?
A little twist top, which is kind of sets the tone.
Okay, hold on. Before you,
Yeah.
I may have seen enough, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
Import.
No.
It's got to be one. Domestic or import.
Blitz. When was I
Okay.
was
well,
walking through and I saw Schlitz. And I'm like, holy Schlitz. I haven't seen that in a while.
So what? How do
I
you
did
say
there?
you're constipated without saying you're constipated?
I have to take
You're
a
drinking
Schlitz.
some Schlitz. You're drinking some Schlitz.
There's so many jokes. Here's to you, my friend. That is still good beer. 1849. Still good. All right, let's get into this week's stick style.
Gaming.
My friend, I'm going to start off the show by saying, come on, Sony. Please, do us a solid. Just announce all your shit at the beginning of the month like normal people. like normal companies do. When they have an announcement, here's the announcement at the beginning of the month. You got Patch Tuesday from Microsoft, first Tuesday of the month. You got Game Pass, announces everything at the beginning of the month. You know, Steam has all their, this is what's out this month, the new hotness. Sony, you gave us 3 at the beginning of the month which were decent, which we'll get into in a minute. But then, midway through the month, you go, here's the list of the rest of the Plus games for April. So we got Hogwarts Legacy, Blueprints, which everybody's talking about Blueprints. I don't know if it's, and I said
What is it?
Blueprints. It's
Like I've never even heard of it.
I've seen it in a lot. It's a dungeon crawler, I guess, that you can. It's got a mixture. Literally, it's like throwing in all the different parts of a game, from
Well,
building
first of
to.
all, I'm sitting here looking at a screen cap of the game, and I'm already not liking it. Autoplay setting on.
Oh,
Autoplay.
we've dealt with that recently in a game that we've been not testing,
Yeah.
playing,
Yeah.
and it ruins the game. It really does. But
What's the point in playing it?
It is there.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, if you're on autoplay, what's the point? You're just watching the story. So
Yeah, just rent a movie.
The other games that are released was Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, EA Sports, PGA Tour, Battlefield, the first one, Blade Up, Blown in the Dark, and War of Monsters. And you know what PlayStation 5's first exclusive for 2025 is?
I mean, how does a Blueprints competition work?
I have no idea.
Who clicked through the menu fastest and autoplay got to the end before the other guy's autoplay got to the end? I mean,
don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. What did you think? So
he set his mouse to single click as a double. He's cheating.
We've been recently playing a game on Xbox that we were trying multiplayer. It is a direct port from a mobile game. Is the easiest way. It is so full of microtransactions, and I cannot think of the name right now. What the hell's the name of it?
Asphalt Legends.
Asphalt Legends Prime or something like that. It's the latest one, and it has an auto mode, which I've played with, and it picks all the track for you. You don't press gas or brake or anything. You just hit the nitrous button when you feel like it. It's really, and there's the menu's so convoluted.
Oh, such a gamer. Such a gamer. I've never seen anybody tap nitro like he does.
Now, is it a good couch game? Sure, because you can have somebody that doesn't have any concept of playing and just go, hey, hit the hit the nitrous button when you feel you need to. But it really has no replay value. The menu's so convoluted, it's worse than Fortnite. There's just it's not good. I would give it 2 out of 5 if I had to. It is really, I mean, you could play it when you're completely stoned out of your gourd or drunk out of your mind and still win.
Okay, so take away the auto drive or whatever it's called in that game.
Okay.
Okay. Strip 90% of the menu system out,
Literally.
right?
Yeah.
And add 1 or 2 features to the driving mechanism. Like,
Uh-huh.
I think doing the 360 is cool. You know,
Okay.
you can use it to tail whip somebody off the track.
Fun.
So, that would be like a shunt from Blur, right?
Sure.
Kind of a deal.
Sure.
Plus, it helps reload your turbo. That's kind of cool.
And that's what we were
Just
hoping
1 or
for.
2,
We were hoping
1 or
for a Blur.
2 like things like that. But the fact that I'm literally at one point I'm tracking behind Phoenix, and he hits his
Behind
turbo.
me.
He hits his turbo, right? Because the car, you can see when they do the double tap on the turbo, their car goes all sparkly and
Right.
And I wasn't really losing any ground. And then when his turbo ran out, I did mine, and I never gained any ground.
Yeah.
What's the turbo for?
Yeah. And if you do, honestly, if you do all the things and correct all the stuff that Fremo just said, you have a game called Split Second, which was far superior to this game. And they definitely ripped off Split Second. I think Split Second's a better game. But what I was saying before was that PlayStation's first exclusive for the PS5 for 2025 is The Last of Us Complete.
So it's a new
Go on. Go ahead.
a new set to the story.
No, it is not.
It's a spinoff.
Nope.
DLC.
Nope.
No.
So their first exclusive of the year is a remaster?
No. I refuse. No.
It's just a repackage. There is nothing.
It's not even a
to do about it.
remaster?
I don't believe so. I believe it's just a repackage. And they're only doing that because the new season's out. I did get time to play PlayStation's RoboCop game.
Yeah.
Oh, it looked so good. So good. You play as Murphy, and yes, that's Peter Weller's voice that you're hearing in the game, which was an added bonus. You have your Auto 9 pistol, which is, of course, that 3 burst. Is it 3 or 5 bursts? I don't even remember. But it's a burst pistol that has unlimited ammo, so that's a nice feeling. You can pick up another 20 different weapons if you want to, but I didn't. I was looking at them. I'm like, why bother? I have this Auto 9. I'm good. You have infrared and RoboCop vision, so when you press the left trigger to zoom in, you have this like targeting mode where you can see all the bad guys. This game is as shallow or as deep as you want it to be. If you have a PlayStation 5, I would recommend grabbing this, especially if you have a PlayStation Plus. It is a fun game. It looks really good. The story is really good. Wait, what?
No.
No,
Do
you
not buy. No, I'm telling you. I'm looking at it right here. Do not buy RoboCop Rogue City. Don't do it.
Okay,
It's
I didn't.
$59.99.
Correct.
Okay. Get the RoboCop Rogue City Alex Murphy Deluxe Edition, which not only has the game, but extra skins and a digital art book for, wait for it, $10.49. Okay, Sony.
What?
Yeah, the limited edition Alex Murphy for $10.49. Save 85% on that right now. So pay $10.50 versus $60 and get way more.
Well, if you have PlayStation Plus, you can get it for free. Worth it.
I'm not
Worth
making
it.
this up. It's
I,
right
I, I know
here.
you're not making it up. I'm just saying that I've been playing the game for free and it is very good. This is one of those games where I wish you had a PlayStation 4. Like I said about Astrobot, this one definitely I think would be right in your wheelhouse, and I think you would enjoy it tremendously. It's a good game. And here's some more game news for everybody.
You could even add the Alex Murphy pack and the Vanguard pack for another $7. So for less than 20, you could have the Alex Murphy edition
You
plus
sure
the two
that
add-on
$10?
packs.
No, you sure that $10 isn't just a DLC? It's a full game.
Okay, standard edition, RoboCop Rogue City game, $59.99.
Yeah.
Alex Murphy edition, RoboCop Rogue City game, plus the OCP shotgun sidearm, damaged RoboCop skin, Auto 9 prototype skin, digital art book. So it says it's the game, plus the extras.
Don't look over
And then just under that, you have the two add-on packs.
Look at that.
That are discounted, which, I mean, you're going to pay the same amount for those regardless of which edition you get, but
Again,
look on the link that you put in the show notes and scroll down.
I'm not disputing you.
No, I want you to see it.
I don't want to see it. I don't have time right now. I will look after the show. What I'm telling you is that if you fucking do it, pulling your camera off to show me, yeah, that is pretty friggin' dumb right there. That is the definition of dumb. And Sony, you wonder why you're screwing up and not making any money.
I think I just don't.
It's right there.
Understand.
Something else we don't understand: Star Citizen. How about that clusterfuck? Star Citizen just raised more money for you.
Kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
I wish I had met these guys back in the day and gotten on their dev team.
I love how you look at the sky. Oh, I wish.
These dudes are living it up. What have they spent $800 million on?
I'll tell you.
Those dudes are flying around the globe, private jets, showing up to Geek Fest, talking about how awesome this
in their
game
Bugatti.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're going to need some more money to bring this to market.
Now,
go to our crowdsource, go to our GoFundMe, and and later as they get in their 72-foot long stretch limo.
So now in somewhat of their defense, and I'm going to need you in on this. What's related to Star Citizen is their single player, which is called Squadron 42. We've seen footage of Squadron 42. It looked really good, did it not? I mean, it looked phenomenal. And you can tell where the breaks were for the gameplay. And they've hired a shit ton of professional actors to do all the mocaps and the that's where a lot of the money probably went. But Star Citizen is a whole nother animal. This game has been in production for 13 fucking years. This is worse than Duke Nukem. At least Duke Nukem, you knew, like, flat out, like, all right, this is kind of shady as fuck. But Star Citizen, you're looking at going, look, you guys have raised over $100 million a year since 2022. CEO Chris Roberts recently said, we are closer than ever to realizing the dream that everyone said was impossible. Are you, though? Are you, though? 13 years. Like, Squadron 42 looks phenomenal, and I would love to play it. We've talked about it on the show before. We both want to play it, even if it's not multiplayer, just because of the fact that it's so compelling. It looks great. You hope that it plays right. But being in 13 years of development, you expect it to play correctly, or as you envision. And there's no announcement
if they release this, and I'm not trying to bash Starfield here. I'm not. But if they release this and it has similar complaints as to what Starfield had from the user base early on, I'm going to be very, very disappointed.
Okay. And what? Just give me one complaint. The Starfield. I don't remember. We enjoyed it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the crap out of it. One of them was
Because you kill everybody.
no vehicle, right?
Right.
On
At first,
planet, and they finally got that out there
Sure.
at some point.
Sure.
But I'm talking about even going down to some of the nitpicky. Like I read some people, and they like one guy was complaining because when you looked at the specific shotgun, it didn't have a trigger.
Oh, come on.
Right.
Bullshit.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree that's a little excessive. But this game, it better freaking have triggers.
Like I
That's
remember
all
one
I'm
of the
saying.
things.
There better not be a freaking pixel out of place in this game.
I remember when we first started playing Starfield that people were bitching about like, oh, are all these planets different? No, there's a bunch of planets. Similar to Star Wars. Like Star Wars complaints have always been like, okay, why do we have a desert planet, a jungle planet, a tree planet, a snow planet? Like, is there any diversity in any of these planets? Like, is there climate changes in any of these planets? Primo, I can honestly say, and I have not, but over the year or years, Primo has pretty much hit almost every single planet on Starfield.
I have everything that you can land a ship on. I have gone to and investigated everything that you can investigate.
And as we've talked about offline, is that
All
every
the
planet,
resources, all the animals, all the flora, the fauna, all of it.
right? And there's diversity. Like you get to a planet and it's I don't know, less than zero gravity and all rocks, but you'll find diversity in what's on the planet. The planet might not change climate, but everything else will. And you've said that before. There's like some planets that just suck and some planets that are not too bad. But with this game, like you said, 13 years in development, I expect every single planet to blow me away. Blow me away. And you're saying there's well over 1,000 planets. Starfield made that claim, and there's some planets that are just rocks. There are. I've landed on them. There's just rocks. But at the other end, there's planets that have, like you said, a lot of floral, a lot of character to the planets and the destinations. This game, I mean, you didn't even announce any sort of release date or 2027 or fall of 2026. Like you're not even saying, and I get that. Cloud Imperium, the company that makes this game, started crowdfunding this shit in 2012, and they have since raised over $800 million, dude. And they're still selling merch, subscriptions to something. I have no idea what. And let's not forget that they're very expensive ships.
No, you actually have people that have been playing an alpha version, but you have to pay for access.
Right.
That's what the subscription is.
And people are paying like literally thousands of dollars, real world dollars for ships. And we've said it before with a lot of other things like what the hell is those little pictures that everybody wanted to buy for a while? It was on the blockchain. NFTs.
Yeah.
Just like NFTs, I feel that this is some money laundering going on that they either don't know or they're turning a blind eye to. Because when you sell a ship on this game for 25,000 real world dollars, what? It's a game.
I'm telling you, this game's never going to come to market. This game is literally a black market.
What about Squadron 42? I think that has potential if they separate the two IPs.
Yeah, but that's not what they're doing anymore.
No, they're not. They're not. But I would like them to.
No, either that or do you ever watch the Black Mirror?
No, I have not. I want to. I want to.
There's the new season dropped and there was an episode in it. That could be what's happened here. I'm trying to see which episode name it is.
So Black Mirror is alternative reality, correct?
It's hard to describe. It's basic because each episode's different and some of them address current issues that we're dealing with. Some of them are more on the sci-fi side of things, but it all centers around humans and technology.
Sure.
Season 4 had a episode called the USS Callister, and season 7 has one called USS Callister Into Infinity. And the short version of this is
spoiler.
It's centered around a game, right?
Yep.
This game, and it's a space exploration type game.
Okay.
Like think GTA 5 in space.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Like this big open world environment. You're out, you're getting your credits, you're upgrading your guns, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing whatever. And digital human cloning is a thing in this episode.
Okay.
So
I'm with you.
I could be digitally cloned and then stuck into the digital world.
Okay.
So my digital self is alive in the digital world. It can bleed, it can die. It doesn't respawn.
Okay.
So for them to end up ultimately making this game what it is, one of the co-founders digitally cloned himself and stuck himself in the
nice
in the engine. He is the engine, the game engine.
Okay.
And that's all this dude's been sitting in there doing for years and years and years and years. His digital self is just sitting in there and they show a part of him where he's like looking at this little rock thing and he's like adjusting it and moving it, and then he kind of pinches it in so it zooms out. And you go, okay, that was a boulder in this patch of whatever, and then he zooms out and then you see this whole planet, but he was zoomed all the way in, taking care of the detail of this one little rock in this field, right? That's what this game needs to be. It needs to be that detailed.
Yeah.
$800 million.
Right.
And they've not gotten out of alpha.
And if you spend $25,000 on a ship for a game that's still in alpha, you're a fool. And if you have that kind of money, then you can afford a proper seat to sit in at that point. Primo, have given you, and you'll see the picture in the YouTube video, I give you the Aston Martin AMR C01. This is a racing cockpit. Mine is a little crappy. It's in the other room. It's steel. It's just a shell, and you put your own chair in it to make it work. This is a full-blown carbon fiber racing cockpit. It's got a 49-inch monitor, which I've had. We've done shows on it in the early days on that monitor. I've since returned it. It's got a 240 hertz refresh rate. So, excuse me, the wheels and pedals look like they're from Fanatec. But the company's not saying who's doing the wheels and pedals. The entire body, like I said, is carbon fiber, and the side, like all your buttons and stuff, are built into the cockpit. What do they call it? Mono cockpit. I don't even remember the name, but it's basically a cockpit. Even the front looks like an Aston Martin, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, that's definitely the Aston Martin grill.
Yeah,
look.
It's a great look, and it's cool, and they designed it for tall people, so that makes me happy. Absolutely. And it's nice that you can sit in a car. The seats are from the Aston Martin because of the Vulcan. I want to say Vulcan. But it's the Aston Martin concept car / supercar. They've grabbed those seats and the molding for how the seat lays in there. It's a pretty sweet unit. So if you can afford a $25,000 spaceship from Star Citizen, then you could buy the $76,000 mono cockpit. Yes, 76 grand. Now, I'm not gonna lie. If I had money to burn, which I do not, but if I had money to burn, I would definitely buy.
This isn't money to burn. This is next level. This is FU money. This is like, I'm not waiting in line at the fast food place. I'm going to just drive my car up to the counter and get my order and then drive out through the other wall money. That's what this is. Like, yeah, I'll handle the damages.
It is
my guy
beautiful.
will be by presently.
working on a
Holy cow.
49-inch monitor that I've done before. I've had a 49-inch monitor. It is delightful for racing or for just about anything.
Yeah,
You
but the
slap
arc on this
VR,
one-
huh?
The curve on this one is
Oh, yeah.
extreme.
That's exactly like the original 49-inch monitor that I had. Now you can get them that curved or less curved, but I've had that one that's that curved. I've had that one. And it is, like I've said 100 times to both customers as well as here on the show, it is a great monitor. I was never going to get snuck up on in Destiny 2, Years of War, Halo. Like, I'm not getting snuck up on. I can see everything. And for racing, you not only get your full windshield, but you can see out the sides too. Like, it's really well done. And this having a cockpit that's built like that, I think, I don't know about 76 grand, but I can honestly say about 8 grand, I would spend 8 grand on that. That monitor alone is a grand.
Dude.
No, wait, the monitor alone is a grand.
There's
the pedal-
$10,000 plus of carbon fiber in that thing.
That's what I'm saying. That's my issue with this thing, is that the monitor is a grand. The pedals and steering wheel is probably another grand. If you add another module or a couple from Fanatec, you're looking at maybe another 500. So you're literally around that. Like, I don't necessarily need carbon fiber.
You're paying for carbon fiber, and you're paying for Aston Martin's name on it.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. 76 grand though.
Well, I'm just saying. I'll take one if somebody wants to give it to me.
If you want to send us that, we're good. All right, let's get into for what it's worth.
Yeah, just you can send us one, and we'll share. Send it here first.
Yeah. Why are we sending it to you first? Well, I guess you got more room than I do, so why not? All right, first up.
Never get it.
No shit.
Why?
I know. As we told you before, Microsoft is celebrating its 50th anniversary, and now they're giving away a Surface laptop. It's going to be a black.
We'll literally be the first two dudes in the history of the world that had to have a custody hearing over over a
That would be
gaming
so
cockpit.
funny. That would be so funny.
Your Honor, it's been at my residence now for 9 months. He's had
Possessions,
every
9/10
opportunity to
of the law.
come down and see it, spend as much time as he wanted with it, and he's just neglected it.
Your Honor, it was shipped to his house unbeknownst to me. I've asked for equal time. I would even pay half of the cost of shipping and packaging, but he's neglected to do this. He's only stated that I can take a plane ticket at my cost to come down and play it on his time. And the whole time we'd be both laughing in court, and the judge would eventually turn around and go, "Are you two fucking with me?"
Try not to look at each other because we would lose it. Be like, yeah. Can you point? Can you know who we're talking about here? Yeah, Your Honor, that guy right there.
Yeah.
I need you to look at him and verify it. Yeah, that's him.
You guys need to stop talking while I'm talking. I'm the judge in this proceedings. Your Honor, I'm streaming right now, and Primo and I. Oh my God, we'd be thrown in jail so bad. Anyway, so Microsoft is giving a Surface away. Now, we've talked about the Surface before. The Surface laptop is not a bad unit. The Surface, like, fucking
Surface
iPad.
Pro? Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Surface Pro is
Go?
good.
That's
Not so
another,
much.
that's another story.
Yeah. So
There's a
there's
reason why they're as cheap as they are.
Exactly. There's a black one now with gold etched Microsoft logo, which I think is kind of cool. I like the black and gold. I've always liked black and gold combo. But the palm rest I like as well. Somebody actually, and again, I'm going to go ahead and say it, a Gen Xer thought of this shit. So on the palm rest, where they usually don't have any logos or anything, they put a Microsoft logo from 1975 in there, which is kind of cool. That's kind of cool. It's not a bad laptop, but unfortunately, you ain't fucking getting one. Because only 50 of these are going to be available. And of course, the giveaway is only on Instagram, which automatically excludes being free. And you have tasks to perform before you enter this sweepstakes, like posting a picture of your current Surface out in the wild and posting why you love your Surface so much. That's not going to happen for people like me and free. It's good. Like, Who's
Oh
out in
yeah,
the
I mean,
woods?
I could get a picture. I could get a picture of surfaces because we use them at work, but they don't
Right.
want my input on why I love it.
No,
'Cause that ain't a thing.
that is not in the wheelhouse. Remember we spoke earlier about in the show about Meta taking things too far? They've done it again. Now they're adding second screen feature when you go to a movie. So now they're encouraging people to go to a theater, pull out your phone, and interact with the movie. This is the dumbest shit I've heard in a very long time.
I already
First of
tried
all,
this crap with TV back in the day. It was a
right.
big failure. Why? Why even
But when I go to
try?
a movie theater, the rare times I go to a movie theater, I want to go to a movie theater and just sit down and enjoy it with my wife. I want to sit there, relax, maybe have a beer, watch the movie in a big screen and just enjoy it. I don't want to hear people yelling. I don't want to hear people conversing. And I sure as hell hate when the rows in front of me put up their phone and start having conversations because it's a bright light in a dark room. Now you're pulling all that shit away. Meta, thank you. Megan, the horror movie, will be the first to put back, they're going to put it back into theaters. And Meta's technology that's called Movie Mate. This is going to allow your phone to act as a second screen featuring exclusive content, trivia, and behind the scenes footage. Why? You're watching the
Which means
fucking
you've seen
movie.
the movie 60 times already, so you could care less what's actually on the screen. You're just looking at your phone for extra content.
But this is what digital content's for. This is exactly what digital content's for. Back in the day, we had Blu-ray discs we would download, and you had all those extra features, which was awesome. Then you also had when you downloaded stuff digitally on like Apple TV or something like that, you then had another opportunity to have the extras. Like I loved buying movies. I loved I loved buying movies on DVD, or I should say, I loved buying movies on Apple TV that gave me the extras. Like my wife and I would look forward to that. Like, okay, here's the movie, but you also get the extras for it too that were on the Blu-ray. This takes all that away because now you're doing it in the theater, taking away from the content that's actually on the screen. As if young people's attention span isn't bad enough. Now you don't even have to do it in a movie theater, or you have to do it in the movie theater. The fun part about all this,
Yeah.
moviegoers will be able to have an AI chatbot experience during the movie with Megan herself. Why do I need any of that? I'm watching the movie.
This is literally like the theater industry reaching for
But we've
straws.
talked about it on the show, Free. We feel
Right?
bad for the movie industry. Like we legitimately do. Just
Like
like we felt bad for
when they did
GameStop.
their movie pass where you could pay, I don't know, I guess it was probably a little bit different rate in different markets, but like $30 for a monthly pass, and you just walk in with your pass and as often as you wanted
Right.
throughout that
And
month
that
and go
failed
see,
miserably. Failed miserably.
oh yeah, yeah, they were trying to generate foot traffic,
And I don't
and
blame them. I don't blame them.
make some money on concession. Oh well, no, because it's a dying industry. I
Yeah,
mean, for all
the
intents and purposes, it's a dead industry. But
there is one movie theater left in my area that's worth a damn. It's an AMC, so you get the nice chairs, you get the liquor, you got recliners.
yeah,
That's awesome.
that was the single biggest thing that they've done in the last 10 to 15 years to
Right.
actually
But
recoup is okay, we're gonna put couches and recliners in, and you can sit and drink your beer.
I have to drive 45 minutes to an hour to get there.
Yeah.
And that's if there's even seating because
So
the
it's in another
online
state.
huh? Yeah.
It's in another state.
Yeah.
Oh, that's depressing.
I know where you were getting with that. Yeah, it is. But again, it's like we want the movie industry or the theater industry to survive.
Does the county of Rhode Island at least have a drive-in still?
We have one, I believe, is still open. I believe it's still open. It is the drizzling shits, but it still shows a movie. You can still get in. You can still put people in the trunk and get one payment. Yeah, but it's dying a slow death. But it's not needed. Like this is not needed to do that in a movie theater. Because then at that point I can just sit home and do the same exact thing. The same thing
Yeah.
about Razer. Razer has something that's interesting, but again, not needed. It's called PC Remote Play. While not a new technology, streaming from your PC to your mobile unit, it works with all controllers. Doesn't matter if it's theirs or not. You can use any controller tied into your phone or tablet and use this. It works with multiple storefronts like Steam, Epic, PC Game Pass. You need the Razer Nexus and the PC Remote Play on your mobile device, and then you need to add the Razer Cortex on your host PC. After signing in with your Razer ID, they should both pair up pretty easily or automatically. What makes this one different than the other ones is that it adjusts the game resolution and frame rate to match your mobile device, regardless of what you're using. You could be using an Asus gaming phone. You could be using an iPhone SE. It's going to change it. iPhone SE. I don't even know why I said that. That's not going to work well. But the point being is that
actually not bad.
Right. You can no more black bars on the sides. No more glitchy frame
the native
rates.
resolution.
Yeah, not too bad. It works out pretty well. It's not too shabby, and it's just
I
an
wonder
app.
how much lag that produces though while it's doing that.
I have not experienced a whole lot of lag. Well, if you should be watching your mobile screen at that point, not the computer screen. You're not going to notice
but
the lag.
I'm talking about game lag.
I haven't noticed any on any.
Because it's got to be doing the translation on the fly, right?
Yes, but I have not noticed any lag on any of the streaming platforms that I've used on my phone. None.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's well done.
This actually says it lowers latency.
Well, some of the phones is going to dumb it down
because it's using the AVI 81 video codec.
Yeah, don't count out AVI yet.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So I don't have anything else this week. Do you have anything?
AVI is a rock solid codec, man. I don't know why people just chose to get away from it.
MPEG's more common. That's the only thing I can think of. It just accepts more.
Yeah, but
no, you know what it is? I can almost guarantee you. I don't have to look it up. AVI, if I remember correctly, is a Microsoft product, and I'm pretty sure that the patent purchase or the API purchase is way too expensive for most people to do, which is why MPEG won out. MPEG is either dirt cheap or free. That's what I would go with. AVI is a Microsoft. Yeah.
Could be.
Do you have anything else this week?
Oh yeah, I've
Don't
got
hurt
so
yourself.
many thoughts in my head. But yeah, we're gonna leave it as is.
Hey. Right then, that's it for this week.
I will say I am a little worried about Elon.
Why?
I'm just worried about him. I think he's spreading himself too thin.
He might be. All right, that's it for this week.
He's playing in the deep end of the pool, and I'm not sure he knows how to hold his breath long enough.
I don't think he does.
Because I'll go ahead and say it right now. They're hitting some deep state stuff.
Yeah.
And they ain't liking it. And they're going to punch back at some point.
That's it for this week. Tense down, show's over. Oh, wait. You got one more thing?
No, I was just waiting for my...
Oh, that's it for this week. Tense down, show's over.
So you can find more of this garbage at bgfgonline.com. You can also send us an email with your questions or suggestions at bgfgshow@gmail.com. Find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Overcast, Podcast, Castro, Castbox, Podchaser, and YouTube. Thank you for listening.